Yo, what's up guys, in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to make dark beats artists actually want to use. And I've been watching a few tutorials on YouTube on how to make these kinds of dark beats. Most of them are way too complicated to get any artist to flow over it. So if you send them to the A&Rs, the managers or the artists directly, they're just going to skip the beats because it's too complicated to lay vocals over it.
Right?
And I know most of you guys who are watching tutorials are probably beginners.
Yeah, boy.
So I'm gonna do my best to explain the music theory, how I'm doing stuff, why I'm doing stuff, and stuff like that. So let's start. So yeah, this is how the beat sounds like.
Hey yo, Fraxille, this the one. Yeah. Shout out to who see the name, I'm saying, whole fuck for you. I'm saying, but it's a shout out my label, that's me. I'm in this bitch with TP. I'm in this bitch with 4 tree. I just pulled on me a A. Real nigga all in my face. 500 racks in my safe.
So the first thing I like to do when making these melodies is come up with a starter. So this is the main melody that I came up with. So basically what we are working with here is a B minor chord, the root, the third and the fifth. So for these beats you want to keep the melody simple, but not too simple that it's boring. And for this melody I'm also adding the C sharp, which is the second or ninth, depending how you want to view it, just to create a tension with the melody, because dark melodies like to have dissonance, and one semitone creates a lot of dissonance in music. And as you can see, this chord is just duplicated over to here and here. And here I just added some top notes to make the melody not feel too repetitive. And at the end we have this chord, and this chord is basically just a E minor chord, root, third and fifth. And we're also adding in the C sharp, and the C sharp is going to create a tension with this chord because we often just use C sharp, E and G to create a diminished chord. So that's going to create a lot of tension. The beats I used for this melody was Kontakt, and the library is called Textured Kalimba. And this is the customized sound that I ended up with. If you want to steal this preset, feel free to do so, copy my screen and use it in your own beats. So for the next sound, you want to layer it. And what I'm doing here is basically just layering a synth playing the exact same chords. And that sounds like this. Really simple, just adding to the vibe of the melody. And again I'm using Kontakt, and I'm using the chromed library with the layer smoke. After that I went into Kontakt once again and I added this piano. And as you can see, we're basically just repeating the same melody we used in the other layers. So this is a B suspended second. Same thing, and then we get to this chord. And this chord is quite weird because we have a tritone. And to be honest, you can just look at this as a half diminished chord. And also for this piano, I added some bass notes, but I just wanted to render them out so they are alone. And with the top notes, and I'm using the euphonic piano library. After that I wanted to layer some low end in the melody, and I basically just found this gospel choir preset in Omnisphere. I just went with the root notes of the melody, and that sounds like this. And after that we are layering like a textured guitar. That sounds like this. And once again, we are basically just playing around with the same type of melody. Yeah, just B minor chord and these two intervals. And for this sound, we are using Kontakt once again, and we are using an unreleased guitar library, which I'm working on. So yeah. And the effects for the guitar, we are using a Guitar Rig 5 on the Moloching preset, and I'm basically just adding some vintage verb. And after the guitar, I wanted to add some impacts, and I'm basically just using this impact from my drum kit. Sounds like this. Just to add like an impact when the 808 hits, that it hits even harder. And after that we are coming into Kontakt, and I wanted to add some low end that can stick out in the melody, and I'm adding this tuba. Sounds like this. And this is a great trick if you want to have a bigger sound for your melodies. Add high intensity low end in your mixes. For this one we did not add any effects other than this EQ, just to boost the high end slightly so it sticks out more. Once again we are using Kontakt, and we are using 66 tubas from 8dio. Really great bank, and I recommend it if you want to get this kind of sound. And after the tubas we're adding in this high end melody, which basically just helps filling out the frequency spectrum so it doesn't sound boring all through the melody. And we can also take this layer in and out of the beat. We can arrange the beat better. And as you can see, we're basically just following the same chords yet again. We have the B for the B minor chord, then we are adding in the third and the fifth, and then we are going to the E minor chord again at the end. And that sounds like this. And for this sound we are in Kontakt once again, and we are using the textured Kalimba bank with these presets. And after we have all the melodies laid out for the beat, I started mixing. As you can see on our mixer track, all of inserts 1 to 9 are linked to insert 10. So we are using insert 10 as our melody bus. So all effects applied here will apply to all the sounds. So on the melody bus we are adding a gross beat, and inside gross beat we're adding a half beat gate and taking down the volume. And we're also just adding EQ to take out the low end of the melody, so the 808 and the bass does not clash. The last thing we added for the melody was this Perc loop which I have in my drum kit. So the whole melody alone sounds like this. Pretty simple, just does the job, and it just does the job, nothing more to be said. So after the melody is finished we can then go on to the drums. So the first thing I started with was this hi-hat. I put nothing on the mixer, it's just pure hi-hat, and this hi-hat is intentions from my drum kit, and I did this tweaking inside of the sample. And after the hi-hat we are moving on to the 808, and I'm using the 808 favorite from my drum kit. So for the mixing on the 808s you want to make them mono. So if you don't know what this button does, to the right it will make your sound mono, and if you put this button all to the left you will get a stereo sound. And after the 808 we're adding clap and a snare, and I'm using the clap most used from my drum kit and snare trippy smack. And yeah, this is how that sounds. And after that we are adding some open hats. Sounds like this. Pretty easy once again, and after that we are layering in a snare and a perc. Sounds like this. Then we are layering in a kick. And for a kick, I'm using the kick chosen from a drum kit. Yeah, we're basically just following the same hits as the 808. Sounds like this. So for mixing of the kick, it's basically the exact same as the 808. You can put it on 25 or you can keep it like this, but I like to take it all the way mono. Just what I like to do. Basically after that, the beat is, to be honest with you, finished. You just need to arrange it, add some switch up, add your tag maybe, add some risers, and yeah, that is basically everything for this beat. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you learned something, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. I will leave a link to all the VSTs I used and all the sounds I used. So yeah, peace.
Hey yo, Fraxille, this the one. Yeah, shout out who open see the name, I'm saying whole fuck for you. I'm saying put that up. Shout out my label, that's me. I'm in this bitch with TP. I'm in this bitch with 4 tree. I just pulled up me a A. Real nigga all in my face. 500 racks in my safe. 500 racks to the plug. What you know about your love? What you know about pulling love? Invent the drug. Make these bitches fall in love. All of my niggas on go. None of my niggas no hope. All of my niggas want smoke. All of my niggas together. We came from the bottom. We used to wear each other. None of my niggas gon' fold. Couple pussy niggas told. They and my niggas gon' move. Hold it down for the fold. In the 9 with the rolls. All of my daughters for sure. We won't fall out about shit. Especially not by no bitch. We ain't gon' fall out by hoes. Me and said get them lows. You let them go for the low. I got my hood in control. I got my left wrist on froze. I got my right wrist on froze. I got my necklace on froze. Both of my ears on froze. I think get faded, I'm sipping on maple. If she won't fuck, I won't make her.